We have a responsibility to make sure that we're planting those seeds of peace, even if we're not going to see it for generations to come.
Ultimately, it is even the best decision I've ever made in my life.
It's dark and the moon.
Hey, you. Hi, it's Matt Damon.
We have an opportunity to return these societies to normalcy.
The combination between theory and practice, that background of understanding conflict and negotiation and interpersonal and intergroup relations, that's what really sold me on it. The study abroad experience was the experience of a lifetime. We did the Israel-Palestine trip. The way the class was taught, you spend a lot of time with each professor, so you really get to build on that relationship too. And I still contact most of my professors, even now, on a regular basis.
The different things that I'm learning, I've been able to, one, associate it with, the students that I see. I'm an academic advisor in Coast College of Business. And then also being able to acknowledge some of the concepts that we're going in just through the organization piece. I see conflict management in a lot of what I'm actually going through.
I like the international focus of the program and the interdisciplinary nature of the program. That gives us the flexibility to look at areas in international cultural dynamics, in economics of conflict, in theories of international conflict management, and in research methodology, ultimately. There are faculty here who are very well published, and they are empowering. They do not just empower you, but they challenge you to bring that best out of you. And they challenge you not just by saying, but by doing. And collaboratively, they publish with students, and this brings the best out of you.
So international conflict management focuses on conflict management, resolution, and peace building, but the approach is very interdisciplinary. So I have a communication background, and I get to use that and tie that into how we manage conflict, how we resolve it, and even looking at peace building strategies through communication. But other students have taken a business management approach, a strategy approach, historical narratives, even digital technology. All of that fits into the way that Kennesaw State does international conflict management.
It's a great program. Do it.
It's amazing, it really is.
Ultimately, it is even the best decision I've ever made in my life.
But let's make sure that we have the terms here. Ms. Rocket agrees to pay Ms. Jefferson $1,000 for the services performed by check, by mail today, with intention to arrive by December 8th, and that Ms. Jefferson agrees to accept this amount to fulfill the contract for the contracting services.
Agreed.
Agreed? Okay, well, I want to thank you both for your efforts today in trying to resolve this matter. I appreciate you've taken charge and control to solve this, and I've appreciated serving as your mediator. Thank you very much.
I'll be right there.
Now, the storm is affecting thousands of families, people still in desperate need of aid.
When the night has come
Where we at?
We've got cans ordered. This
and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
We're so used to having water right at our fingertips. You simply ask for it or you turn on a tap and it's there.
I'll start with water.
I need to have a shower.
I would kill for a glass of water to start, please.
Unfortunately, I can't do that for you today. We don't have any water.
I'm sorry. Okay, bit of bad news. There's no running water in the hotel.
Oh, right, okay. Oh. Okay.
You don't have any water?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Lá já não tem mais água. Não, prédio todo.
No.
Y nos quedamos sin agua. Ya comandé su pedido. Va a demorar 6 horas.
6 horas?
Sim.
Mas esperar 6 horas por água, isso atrapalha o dia de trabalho.
Usually takes them quite a few hours, like 6 hours.
You have a manager on this too?
You just get through the day without water. Not everyone has it.
Not everyone has it, but people need it. And if you come to a hotel, you kind of expect it.
I'm just like, should I go somewhere else? My time is very valuable.
No, vamos.
No, que
I'll 6 horas.
1 minute.
60 seconds.
I'm just gonna call him really quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, 60 seconds.
If you could just hang 1 second, I'll fix all this.
All right. I'll like 1 more second, and then otherwise I'm gonna have to go somewhere else.
Be right back.
Thanks.
Hey, you. Hi, it's Matt Damon. It's hard for us to truly imagine what it would be like to not have access to water.
But for 663 million people in the developing world, reality is different. Millions of people spend up to 6 hours every single day just to collect water. Can you imagine what that would be like? If you had to choose between having a job and having the water you need to survive. What if it was your sister or your daughter who didn't have time to get an education because she had to spend hours a day securing this basic human need instead? So that is why Stella Artois has partnered with us at water.org, because we want everyone in the world to have time for what's important to them.
Thinking about, it literally being an all-day thing, 6 hours to go get water. I can't imagine what that'd be like.
Ou não ter acesso à água de maneira fácil. É impensável.
Actually got me thinking, gosh, what am I complaining about?
Es que en el mundo es un problema real.
Me emocioné.
I don't know, maybe I take water much more granted than I thought.
You can help us by simply sharing this message or by buying a chalice to help provide 5 years of clean water for someone in the developing world. Together, we can change this. Together, we can give them time back.
With over 65 million people displaced around the world today, it's absolutely essential that we tackle the issue of state fragility. In countries such as Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, and South Sudan, poor governance, insecurity, and violence and poverty are plaguing nations in ways that are causing displacement, regional disruption, enabling extremism, and promulgating global upheaval. As the new administration comes into Washington, D.C., the charge is to tackle both the short-term need to address violence and desperation, as well as the long-term opportunity to bring back peace and prosperity to these fragile states. Between the defense, development, and diplomatic communities, there's a huge array of tools that we have at our disposal to put to use towards this charge. In the short term, the U.S. can provide humanitarian assistance in ways that enable lives to continue. We can facilitate negotiations that cease violence on the ground. And we can work with governments at local, regional, and national levels to return good governance and to enable services to be provided. In the longer term, we have an opportunity to return these societies to normalcy in ways that they productively contribute to the economy and society writ large around the world. As the incoming administration crafts its foreign policy agenda, it can address the drivers of violent extremism, reduce displacement, and usher back peace and prosperity through short and long-term investments to reduce state fragility.
I love working in DC because it's just such a driven and busy city. People like George Washington and Martin Luther King, all these famous people have really changed our country, walked on these same streets, and it's really nice to think that I'm a part of that change as well. At the United States Institute of Peace, I am a research assistant with public education. Even though USIP engages directly in conflict zones abroad, a part of its mandate is to educate the American public on international conflict and peace. We do so by providing American students, teachers, and the broader audience with different resources for them to learn about international conflict management and also different ways that they can be peace builders within their communities. We have a responsibility to make sure that we're planting those seeds of peace, even if we're not going to see it for generations to come. My family immigrated to the United States back in the 1980s, shortly after the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. And so I was born and raised here in Northern Virginia. Growing up, it was really nice to get a mix of that tradition through food, through clothing, through music and entertainment, through the language, through religion. Even though it's heavy. Food is a really big part of Afghan culture and Afghan heritage. We always have huge gatherings of big feasts of kebab and rice. Growing up in a family that's dealt with violent conflict and that's dealt with being refugees and immigration, it's helped me realize who I am, my interests, my academic goals, my career goals. Besides going to class, I am president of a club called Patriots for Peace. Patriots for Peace works to encourage Mason students to get involved in peace building in their communities and around the world. You don't have to be a conflict resolution major or a government major to get involved. You can build peace in your community through the skills that you bring. Even stopping a fight between two 5-year-olds at a lunch table in elementary school, that's important, and that's all a part of us moving towards a culture of peace, because what a culture of peace would do for the world is it would bring the most vulnerable voices to the table. That's important if we ever want to truly have a peaceful world.